Well, Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and of course our most welcome guests, Salahat and Catherine. One of the biggest challenges in our world is communication. Today, I'm going to talk to you about how to select a topic so that you can communicate with other people. But before I start that, I just want to remind you about the context that we are living with, the context which is Toastmasters. I believe that there is magic in Toastmasters, and every one of you is a role model for creating and spreading the magic of Toastmasters. So let's start this journey of today, discovering the magic of Toastmasters. This is going to be an interactive session. So I'm going to ask some questions. I'm expecting some responses. So the first question, why do we communicate?
Share information.
Sharing information.
To know?
To get what we want.
Get action.
To build relationships.
Build, connect, and better understand each other.
Because it's fun.
Because it's fun. See, the 5 categories, you've already all mentioned them. We want to understand each other. We want to share information. We want to get inspired, pumped up. We want to understand, connect, and change other people's behavior. But let me ask you another question. Within the context of Toastmasters, why do we communicate? I'm going to answer this for you. If you finished Competent Communicator, project number 3, get to the point. They will explain to you that there are general purpose for speeches and specific purposes. And they will explain that there are 4 purposes of general purposes. 1 is to inform, 2nd is to inspire, 3rd to entertain, and 4th to persuade. Persuade, inspire, entertain, inform. This is the general purpose. You select one to inform, for instance, and then you select your topic. For instance, you can select Black Friday and the mayhem that you might find. Or, like Kat was saying, she's inspired. Maybe her speech is not about information, it's about inspiring you to shop more until you drop. So let's start the action. The first step is to select your topic. And there are many resources around us for the topic. The first one, we all know, start with yourself. And starting with yourself, look around you, your family and your friends. For example, today in Kat's club, one of the ladies, she mentioned that her icebreaker was about her dad. And her next speech will be about her son. I also saw in Advocates, one of our members doing his icebreaker, and it was about animals, and about how he was born in the year of the rat, which is the Chinese equivalent of the year. So first, start with family. Start with topics that you are more familiar with. Education, work. If you are at work, you'll find so many topics that you want to talk about. Like in my case, I work in Ministry of Technology and Innovation, and just the word innovation rings the bell, changing people's behaviors. Also, if you don't have all this, we live in the age of social media and online searching, Google, YouTube, you name it. Just put the words and you will get the inspiration from them. So first, personal, second, online. Okay, so let's see a video.
Hello, I'm Cheyenne. Thanks for visiting Toastmasters International to learn more about finding speech topics. Since 1924, we've helped more than 4 million people gain the confidence to communicate in all circumstances. One of the most demanding situations you'll ever face is speaking to an audience. and it can be daunting picking up topics for your speech. So here are some time-tested tips to help you select a topic and focus it for your audience. And one of the most common fears is the fear of public speaking. And one reason is that people dread the lecture because they picture themselves at a loss for words. It can be terrifying. But Toastmasters knows that speech topics are all around us. You just need to learn how to recognize them. The best place to start looking for speech ideas is within yourself. You're an interesting person. Did you know that? A few specific areas in your life can hold speech topics. They might be your interests, your career, your family, or your education. On the other hand, your career can offer a lot of choices. Do you work with interesting people in an exciting setting or doing something unique? Alternately, what can you tell people about your family? What are your secrets for getting along? How would you describe your education? Did you attend a remarkable school? Of course, there are many more fascinating topics in your life, and all you need to do is ask yourself to reveal them. For example, what adventures have you been on?
What adventures you have undertaken? Like for me, last year I went to Africa. It was an eye-opening adventure, visiting schools and doing an African safari. What about you? What adventures, what travels that you did, especially you, Jeff, going to Europe, to Spain and other countries? So, I know what you're going to say. Bashar, we want it simple. All this is complicated for us. This mayhem. We want to find a simple way to get our topics. Here you go. Just 3 circles. Topics that you know. But Mr. Derek here, he is network management guy. Second, topics that you love. Like I know Sabahat loves dogs. Very dearly, more than me, unfortunately. And then topics of interest to others. So Black Friday is of interest to especially women, or not men. We very much. So the trick here is to find a topic that might fit all these 3 categories. But even if it fits one category, that is okay. So now we are going to have an exercise. And the exercise, in front of you, we are going to see a white paper. And we are going to have 1 minute for you to think about a topic that is either that you know, you love, or others of interest to you. Mr. Kamal, give us 1 minute, and at the end we will ask some of you to share it with us. I have no doubt that some of you, just looking at their Facebook posts, know that they have maybe tons of ideas. My suggestion, if you are not on Facebook, please go to Facebook, follow Sabahat and Nabi, and you will get inspiration instantly. Or for Bashar on Twitter. Awkward Bashar. Things you know, like for instance, if you are an accountant, financial guru, things you love, maybe your little one, and things of interest to others, inspiration, information, offers, pizza.
Free pizza.
Free pizza, you're right. What a topic to make a speech about.
1 minute.
Thank you. So, any suggestions? Yeah, Karen.
Horizontal and directional drilling.
Drilling. Oh, I can see she came from Alberta. Yeah, you see the oil in here. Right. Or any other suggestions?
A trip?
Sport guy. Oh, trip.
Well, trip, yeah, traveling.
Any other, Jeff?
In keeping with the theme, shopping at NEC or moving to REI in Seattle.
Any ideas?
Gardening.
Gardening. Yeah, especially if you have little hens flying around, causing mayhem around the garden. Okay, so now we know the drill. Things that you know, things that you love, things of interest to others. So let's go to step number 2. Step number 2 is simple. Plan, plan, plan. And the planning starts by knowing yourself. Knowing yourself, example is Bashar. We all know that Bashar, English is his second language. So in order for him to communicate with you, he has to go slowly so that you can get his accent. Knowing yourself. Next, know your audience. Are they Toastmasters? Or like on Sunday I go with Hamza and they are kids. Or they are at work. Know your audience. And the third one, know your topic. Research your topic. And I'm going to share with you an example so that you can see how to research your topic. And the last one is research your context. For instance, I already got the green light now, which means I need to hurry up. I know that there is no visual effect here, so I brought my own projector to this meeting. So this is know your context. So let's start. The third step is practice, practice, practice. And the first one in practice is to write it down. It doesn't require that genius. Write it down, and then the most important thing is try to take a video of yourself and then watch that video, because it will tell you more about yourself than anyone else. Write it, video. Third is practice in front of other clubs or in front of audience. So write it down, video, and practice in front of clubs. So let's share with you Bashar's story. In front of you, there is Bashar's speech. And you might wonder, speech about what? So 6 months ago, in Ministry of Technology with Dari, they came to us and they said, for all business leaders, they told them, we want you to talk 5 minutes. And to make things very ugly, they told you this is in front of an assistant deputy minister and 6 executive directors. You can see the mayhem that happens inside me and others, just the challenge, the fear. And then we asked, talk about what? They told us anything you want. Any details? No details. Just 5 minutes. And at 5 minutes, they will cut you off. And so I started this speech. How I started, like others, I started thinking about a good opening and a powerful ending. And in the middle, like a Toastmaster, I thought about three things. So for instance, it was a leadership review. I thought to myself, what 3 things about leadership? I knew from Toastmaster building everyone as a leader. And I knew about partnership, working with other vendors. I missed another one. So I brainstormed with one of our assistant administrators, and we ended up with teamwork. Now imagine that. Building a leader, working in a team, partnering with others. Wow, I got 3 impactful ones. Then I started researching what things of value to the audience. So I found the ministry service plan. And I found a corporate plan about being the best. And guess what? I mentioned them in the speech. This is just my first year in my ministry. So guess what? I added 3 items about me. One about my 2 boys. Can you guess what was the second passion that I added? Toastmaster! And the third was charities. And I ended with this speech, and I got the most inspiring review ever. I put it in my cover letter now. So now, advice from the teams. If you remember, Len the other day brought us here, Garth, Harvey, and Mary. They said these words: speak from your heart and take more challenges. And the second one, they said, tell more stories. People remember. And the third one, which I did not know, use the same speech over and over and over. Just add to it more twists and sometimes mayhem. Change everything. And the last thing, to do different types of speeches, like the one that I'm doing here with this presentation. So let's summarize. First, find your why. Second, which is the first step, select your topic. Then, plan. Practice. And remember, first, get a mentor to help you during your speech development. Personal stories, videos, and online resources. And I want to leave you with this, because when we communicate, we try to inspire people. So if your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, then you are a leader. Madam Toastmaster.